So it was yesterday that I didn't finish the first audio because of personal things. But so what I wanted to talk about was that an ex-friend of mine messaged me of Keen and John, and they said that it was about me. So I assumed and jumped in and got a reaction as what happens, and I've tweeted about Keen and John. Now, I didn't know that the tweets were not about me, and they were about someone else. And while I've apologized publicly on my Twitter to Keen and John, and it was a misunderstanding, and I was deeply apologizing, and after I apologized to them, I've also apologized for the said actions that I've done 6 years ago. If you haven't known me from 6 years ago, 6 years ago I was going through stuff in middle school, and I then started homeschooling for half a year for a while. And most people know about my trauma in 6th grade and the stuff my grandmother's done. So I had a really rough, I would say, childhood and through my teenage years. And I figured on the internet I would express my art, even though I thought tracing and recoloring was cool then because everybody else was doing it, so I thought it was cool. And I've said some disgusting behaviors and, well, disgusting stuff and behaviors as well. And I've said a lot of threats. I've sent a lot of people harm. If I can remember more, I was indeed homophobic and racist 6 years ago as well, because this, I know it's bad, but I figured because my friends who are white, when they said the N-word, or was basically in general, I thought it would be cool to say it as well, which I found out as I got older it wasn't cool, because I had my cousin and his friend call me a N-lover because of my ex at the time, and I didn't like it, so I know the feeling from 6 years ago when nobody approved that I was saying it, especially in arguments. It was wrong and disgusting. And as I stated, I was homophobic because it's not that I didn't understand the sexualities as much besides gay and lesbian or bi. It was the fact that I did it out of spite and to piss off people, and just a lot of things. And I'm not going to use this as my scapegoat, but because of the trauma that I went through in real life, I was putting others in my position of my said trauma and a lot of things that happened to me, and that was also wrong and very abusive, especially towards my friends that I did once have. And every time I talk about it or I look back to myself from 6 years ago, I am very disgusted. But I do wish that, my past self can see that I'm improving, I'm growing, and, I'm growing, I'm improving, I'm getting better, and a lot of things. And, I admit what I said to Keen was very wrong and disturbing. And at the time, I didn't know that Keen was actually helping me to stop recoloring and stealing their art and basically improve in drawing and basically not trace or recolor. And I thought that was them basically going after me and attacking me. So I had a reaction, and I said some horrid shit to Keen, and I've told Keen to off themselves plenty of times. I've did maybe one or two hate art of Keen and another user that I'm not gonna say, and I've recolored his art as well to spite them up. And I want to believe that the only reason why the drama got worse, even though we were talking it out, if I believe or remember, and I was getting better, the only way that it would go on and off again was because I had white knights and old friends who would DM me and be like, hey, just letting you know, Keen did this, Keen said that, yada yada, and I had a reaction. And now that I realize they were not my real friends, they just wanted my reaction and want me to get her and basically go through a lot of shit. And I realized when they did that, I've probably dropped a few of them that were doing it, and few of them learned and apologized to not do that. And like I said, I've done a lot of shit 6 years ago. I am not an innocent child. I am not an innocent person as we speak. And I will admit that I've did a lot of fucked up shit. I've said a lot of fucked up shit. So I know people are going to be like, oh, you acted so innocent and victimized yourself. Why would you do that? Because I was young and stupid. We were both young and stupid, to mind you. I was a 13-year-old girl turning 14 because I left Google Plus when I was 14 on my birthday. And like I said, I've done a lot of fucked up and dumb shit. And as much as I was slowly improving to get better, and so forth, I was still doing bad stuff at the same time. So as much as I was trying to improve to get better, I was still doing the same shit that I've done before, like as soon as I left Google Plus. So, as I stated on one of my tweets, that I done a lot of disturbing and disgusting shit. I've death threatened, I've harassed, I've made kill art, which I know I've done maybe last week with my ex, but it wasn't really kill art. It was more like a vent because, hang on, it was basically more likely vent with blood than having my ex involved in it, because I knew if I was going to add my ex into it, it wasn't going to go well. I would get a lot of backlash for it. So I figured, you know what, he's talking about me. He wants to make me the bad guy when I have proof of what he's done and people warn me about. Even when I was younger, I have a right to be upset because he's done a lot of shit, as I said in the description. But it was more likely vent art to relieve stress and the stuff he's done. So I figured, fuck it, I'm not gonna add him in it because it's gonna be wrong. And even if I did, that would be private to me to look at because it was basically a stress reliever. And basically I only added my persona, self-sona, basically like maybe not killing someone, but like covered in blood for a whole other reason, per se. But I know a lot of people have their own views of that recent old speed, well, not old, but like a week old type speed paint. So I can understand people's other, perspective and view of that. And I have no, I don't mind that because that's your own view of the art that I've done. Besides that point of that, I've did way worse shit when it came to that, and I've learned to control my anger because my anger is very, very bad. And when I did take old meds a year ago, my aggressive anger behavior has been like at least 40 times worse. And the only way I can really calm it down is like go in my room and lock myself in there, or draw, listen to music, play a video game, or just sit outside and focus on what I'm looking at to avoid any contact for me to be destructive, because I am a very destructive person when I am very aggressive. But back then I didn't really know how to really control it, and when I was in that kind of state of mind, a lot of people encouraged it. So because I got encouraged more to be in that kind of perspective, it was very, very bad to be in, and I again regret it. But as I stated, I've done a lot of toxic shit. I've done a lot of bad shit. I've said a lot of fucked up shit. I was very homophobic and racist 6 years ago, and I've learned and improved to understand people's pronouns and sexuality and not be what I was 6 years ago. Hence why if people are confused in my home and to ask what a certain thing, like a certain sexuality is, I know because I have friends who would tell me theirs, or I look up what it means, and if I don't understand it because Asperger's and my brain is 4 years behind, basically it's a mind of a 14-year-old and what it shouldn't be. Anyway, um, basically I'm still improving to understand more and not be any type of homophobia, and not say the N word or anything, because I know my mom's side of the family who are Arabian, Lebanese is Arabian on my mom's side, they, because my grandfather and his family are 100% Arabian, I can understand that pain when it comes to someone calling your relative a sand N word, because it's offensive. And when I realized me saying it to an African American person was very offensive, and one of my friends told me, how would you feel if someone were to call, your mom and sand N word or anything related to Arabs? And I was like, I would be pretty fucking offended, because I myself is 33% of it. So I would be offended by it. And they were like, exactly. So what you're saying to these people are kind of offensive, whether you did it because someone else was doing it or you did it out of spite. You cannot do that. And I've learned not to do that. And if I slip up in person or whatever, I will apologize, being like, that's not my intention. I am sorry. I will not say it again. Because I am still improving what I say out loud and basically other things. But besides that point, my ex-friend who deleted their Twitter and I've called their mom, when they've Pastella basically gaslighted me and revealed the trauma and abuse I was going through publicly, and I've never really opened up to my said traumas or what I go through, besides me having major depression disorder, which I am 100% diagnosed with, and I talk about what goes on and what makes me relapse or trigger or sort of and all that stuff. So when she did that, I was not okay. I probably relapsed a couple times, and I was reliving my trauma as a child. Well, basically through 5-6 years old to I was 12. So the trauma with my grandmother lasted for like a good 6-7 years. And there's other traumas and emotional and mental abuse with someone else I'm not gonna say. But I'm sorry, I was trying to think what else I wanted to say. But I am deeply sorry to what I've done to Keen. I didn't know that Keen wanted to help me and make me improve so I wouldn't get attacked. Because whenever someone wants me to improve and helps me to improve, the back of my mind overthinks that they just want to hurt me. And I will say, yeah, I'll take your advice, and I never do, because I think they just don't like me or they're saying it to hurt me. So when Keen was giving me those advices, I thought that he was just there to attack me and get to me. And now I realize that that's not what the case was, and now I understand. If I were to go back from 6 years ago, I would want to really fix that and basically understand more and accept that help that Keen and other old friends I had were giving me and make me a better person than where I'm at right now. But I just didn't like how my ex friend Pastella, that's her username and stuff, I just didn't like what she was going at because she would message people saying if you're gonna mention what happened that I did 6 years ago, for coloring wise or whatever, that you're a horrible person is disgusting. But as soon as I apologized to Keen and John, but mainly to Keen, and apologized for the stuff that I've done 6 years ago, she basically went at me and mentioned that she was going to come to my house, or mentioned that, basically mentioned the trauma and abuse I went through, and was basically gaslighting me even though I blocked her because I didn't need that. And I even told most of my other friends too. I said if anything were to happen to someone that I do not like it's like Tori or Kianis, for example, if they say shit about me or they post about me, don't show it to me. I want no part of that. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. And if you're going to be a white knight or do it to get my reaction, I will definitely block you. Because I'm trying to get better even more as I go. And basically improve that I want to move on, and I really, really do. But when people say, if you want to, like, when people look at me, they're like, you want to move on so badly, but you always talk about them. And it's hard to explain that because it's like, I do want to move on, but it's like when you have your friends or random followers that send you what someone says, you get a reaction out of it. And as much as people say, no, don't do it, walk away, sometimes it's pretty hard depending how serious the topic is, especially with Tori lying in my name that I'm a scammer. I don't scam my customers. I don't. I update them, show them whips and all that. If I was a scammer, that would have been known a long time ago, but I am not a scammer. And basically lied that all my friends were talking shit about me because I was on a hunting spree and asked the people that I associate with who are my friends, and I've even asked them and they told me 100% that they didn't. So instead of having a reaction and overthink and block every friend I had, I went up and asked them for reinsurance, which I should have done with Keen and John about the tweets, but I didn't, and I had a different reaction to it. And that's my fault. I should have not done that. I should have asked them, being like, hey, are these tweets about me? Or Pastella should have done it. But after she became toxic towards me and got mad and after me for what I was doing, which was right to do, I was like, I'm not dealing with you in my life, and I don't want that. And, well, that didn't go well, and I don't care because my mental health is literally hellwire. It will go from good to bad to really bad, back to good, and then hell. It just goes all the way to hell and all that stuff. But I know people will tell me, I have old friends that tell me, oh, why are you friends with Mew again? Listen, I don't care what you think. You can dislike them, but I've moved on and I accepted their apology, but I want to see them improve so I can get my trust back because of what happened, which is understandable. Because as much as the drama was stupid this year, it's the shit that they said to me before we even had the drama getting serious. And I know even my own parents, or my mom, mainly my mom, will be like, oh, you're just gonna get hurt again by this said person. And honestly, if I do, I don't really care anymore. And I laugh at it most of the time because I will look at her being like, listen, I've been threatened since 6th grade and on. Like, these old threats don't really bother me. Yes, it will trigger me and make me relapse, but other than that, I've been told it my whole life. Well, not whole, but like years now, and it's like, dude, I don't know what else you want me to do because I've probably said worse than what they told me. And I will admit to that. But I'm an adult now. I'm a young adult, and if I'm going to forgive someone who's done horrible shit to me, I'm going to do it. And if they prove to me that they improved, then they will be back on my close friends, or we will be close friends and stick together. And if not, then that's their loss and I shouldn't worry about it. But I just wanted to make this clear. I wasn't expecting to make this long, but I did anyways. Just to get it out of my chest and so everybody knows on my medias, especially here on YouTube, knows that I'm here to admit what I've done 6 years ago. I'm here to admit other shit, and that I will take responsibility for it. I'll take full responsibility for it. And if you blocked me for it, that's fine by me because I 100% deserve it, and I would take responsibility for that block because a lot of people have thought I was really innocent in most of these situations, or heck, all of it. When I was young, I played victim, and I'm 19. I'm gonna admit what the fuck I do wrong, and I'm gonna admit what's fucked up. I will even vent it and be like, yo, I did something fucked up, and it's not good, and you're not gonna like me for it. And I will clear that up and admit it, and admit to it. So, it's fine if I'm blocked. It's fine if I lose a friend. It's fine if I'm unfriended. Because once you hear what I've done 6 years ago, you're probably going to be disturbed and be like, I don't even want this person in my circle anymore. Which I can understand and relate because, again, I've done some disgusting, fucked up shit that I wish I hadn't said or done, but I did anyways because, again, 6 years ago, I was a 13-year-old girl who did a lot of dumb, fucked up shit. And I am learning through those mistakes as I go. I write in my journal every day of everything I've done that I want to learn from and not do again, just so I can improve and show my friend group that I am slowly improving and getting there. So, I hope this video helps clear what I'm talking about and that you understand what I'm saying. Again, I apologize if this is a long ass video and I'm a chatterbox. I am an antisocial person and very anxious. I've been like this since I was a child. Even before I started school, I've been like that for years and I've been the same. So, because I'm slowly getting out of my shell to talk more and be more social, I am gonna talk a lot where it's annoying, and I really do apologize for it, but really do hope this clears everything up and you can understand. Thank you for watching.